Welcome to the Small Business Breakthrough Series, where each week we're interviewing small businesses that support small businesses. And today we have a very unique guest, Joe Taylor from eGrowth Media Limiting. As the managing director, he is responsible for helping in a very niche space, helping both the UK and the US get going forward inside of real estate social media. And it sounds like he's got some interesting techniques and great opportunities. We're going to learn a little bit more about Joe and his business. Joe, welcome to the show.
Yes. Hello. Good evening. Good morning, wherever you're in the world. Jason, good to see you.
Joe, give us a little bit of a quick introduction to your business and the problems you're solving for your clients.
Absolutely. So essentially, eGrowth Media, we're a marketing agency. Now, what we do is, and again, as I said to you before, we are different to other social media agencies. We exclusively work within the real estate and the property community. Now, what we do is we help, if you're an estate agent, we help you get more sellers and buyers. If you're a property developer, we help you get more investors and funds to fund your property deals. So in essence, we are that bridge between someone who needs the money, someone who's looking to sell property, but they don't know how to use social media effectively. We bridge that gap for them. So we do all of the content, all of the distribution, and the whole strategy. And we work with clients across the UK and across the world as well.
Nice. That is such a great and unique spot and entry into it. What inspired you to get into this business?
Yeah, good question. So it was started in 2020. So I used to have an events company. So for context, I'm only 25. I used to have an events company before COVID. So we did like corporate events, we did weddings, we did team buildings. And one thing I always wanted to learn was the power of social media to market the events. Now, we went into COVID, didn't have much time. I had a lot of time, didn't have much direction. So what I did was I literally went on YouTube, and I remember it to this day. It was I found a guy called Jordan Platten, and I searched on YouTube how to run Facebook ads for businesses, for small businesses. And I came across this guy. He was like the guru of the time, bought his course, bought his book, went down his funnel. And then in essence, what he did was he taught us how to start a social media and help small businesses leverage the power of social media and in essence, create a whole agency. Like for me, it was crazy. It was like a whole different world. I didn't think you could start a business, posting Instagram pictures. Obviously, I know it's a lot more than that, but hypothetically, essentially, that's what it is for businesses. And I remember saying to my mum, I told her the concept about what I wanted to do. And she said to me, and she said these exact words in the kitchen. She said, do you actually think you can make a living out of posting Instagram pictures of people? I said, wait, give me a few years and watch me. And then fast forward to now, we've got a team of 5. We work with clients all over the UK and the world. And yeah, just doing something that I love. So basically it was COVID and a lack of not wanting to go into like a normal job, let's say, wanting to start my own path, and just coming across this term called SMMA, which is social media marketing agency. So that's in essence, Jason, how we started.
Nice. That is such a great story. And for those listeners out there, it's all about that downfall and rise up again. And whenever COVID had that impact on so many people. Hey, real quick. Did you know that most small businesses don't actually achieve their breakthrough? And it's not because you don't care. It's all because you're trying to do it alone. That's why I created the Momentum Community, is to help you change that. I want to see you achieve the breakthrough that you've been waiting for. It's where we committed entrepreneurs come and get focused, get accountable, and finally build a business and life that you are meant for. If you want to learn more, click the link in the description below and enjoy the rest of the episode. What are you going to do with that energy and to be able to take it, go and make it positive again? Your business has been growing steadily. What is your key? If there is any one special key or special sauce that has made you successful in your business, what would that be?
So the number, it's going to sound very, very cliche, very, very obvious, but using social media effectively. So the way I built my business, and I now speak a lot of events and podcasts and all across the UK. And the reason I get these opportunities is because I've used social media. I've used this thing effectively. And that's the difference between, in my opinion, the ones that succeed and the ones that don't. Because, as we know, we live in a world where information is important currency and attention is the new day and age power. And essentially, that is why I believe we've used social media effectively to get our own clients, to get my name out there, and ultimately grow the message about what it is that we're trying to do. So yeah, no superpower really. It's just using these platforms efficiently, consistently, and targeting the right people. That's again, of course, super important.
That sounds amazing. What was the uniqueness that drew you into the real estate side of or the property side of the business? So that's kind of it's a well, I mean, it's a big niche, but it is a very specific niche. And so what drew you, what was the kind of inspiration that said, that's the niche I want to go for?
Yeah, good, very good question. So I started out by working in a few niches. So I had a hairdresser, I worked with a restaurant, I had a cleaning business. But then there was a few things that kind of determined why I wanted to go into the real estate market. The first thing was real estate is a high ticket market. So for example, like if a property sells, that agent is making two, three, four, five, maybe even £10,000 or dollars per transaction. So it's not like a cafe that needs to sell 1,000 sandwiches, just to pay for our fee, right? So that was the first thing. And the second thing was I actually went on a ski trip in January of 2020, and it was a ski trip full of property investors in the UK. Now, I just went there just to get exposure because I'd never been around entrepreneurs, business people. And I went there and I just made some good connections, just listened to what they were saying. And then the one of the guys, a guy called Stephen, he did a post out saying he was looking for help with his social media marketing. I'd just done this course from Jordan and I volunteered. I said, look, I've not got any experience. I've done some training. Let me give it a go. And he had a commercial office building and he needed tenants, so small business owners to be his tenants. So I said, look, pay me, I think it was like $300 a month. So it was nothing crazy, but it felt nice, first $300. I said, look, give me 3 months. Let me work with you. Let me see what I can do. And we ended up taking his occupancy from 60% to 95%. And we got him about 180 leads through Facebook advertising. He gave me a testimonial and that was kind of my first way into the industry. And then I just leveraged the hell out of that. I had it on Facebook, I had it on LinkedIn, probably had it as my screensaver on my phone as well. Like it meant a lot to me. And then essentially I just leveraged that. And then I got approached by another lady who did property and it kind of just snowballed from there, as it were. So that's kind of how we fell into the property industry.
That is amazing. And the small business owners that out there that are listening, if you are struggling with a niche pivot or a change, or even wanting to try a new offer and because your current offer is not working or anything like that, like this story is powerful to listen to because you just got to do it. You just got to put yourself out there and go. Sometimes you have to jump off the cliff as an entrepreneur and you build the plane on the way down, not build the plane and then hope it flies. Like just jump off, figure out how to build it and go. And those are the ones that do the best, make the best success. That is amazing to hear. And congratulations to your journey and your efforts there. What
Thank you, Jake.
was a recent project or initiative that has really energized you and your team?
Good question. So this year, so this is kind of it's business related, but it's not because the business funded it. But essentially, in 2018 I went to Tanzania, or I think it's Tanzania as you Americans call it. I went there. I spent 3 months there, and because I have a big passion in soccer or football. And I said to the guy, I said, look, give me 6 years. I'm going to come back. I had no resources at the time. And I said, we're going to build you a football pitch and in essence create like the next generation of like a sporting facility because Tanzania is very poor. It's a third world country. So this year we flew out, we went there for 5 weeks, and we partnered up with a local school, and we created a football pitch. So we created from scratch. So we had the builders in, we had the levelers in, and now it's a facility, and it's going to be the start of like a 10-year project that we're working on, where my business and other businesses in the UK, we're going to help fund this sporting facility. So eGrowth Media was a large contributor to that first, let's say, phase of the project. And flew some of the team out there. It was amazing. We had a great time. And ultimately just leaving impact on the world. So not just making money for us, but giving an impact because, we built a wall and the logos then, I want my kids in the future to enjoy this pitch. So I'd say that's something that we worked on this year, and we've got something else super exciting that we're working on, which I'm happy to share.
Nice. That is so valuable to be able to talk about that. Amazing jobs and congratulations. Looking ahead in the industry, like how do you see the next 5 to 10 years evolving in social media marketing?
Yeah, so I think social media is a fast moving industry. As you know, the platforms are changing all the time. I think AI, I'm sure your other guests will have said this before, AI is going to play a big part in what we do. Now, some people are saying that it could make our roles obsolete. I don't think that. I think it's the people that use AI effectively, and we use AI in our business now. We're embracing it. I think that's going to play a big part in how we do our job, how we leverage our job, how we leverage our time. So for me, even looking at maybe doing an AI agency in itself, so teaching and helping business owners use AI in all elements of their business, not just in social media. So I think that's how it's going to change. I think we need to adapt, we need to grow. Things are changing quick. But I think if you're ahead of the curve, there's a massive opportunity. No doubt.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Staying ahead of the curve is the challenge always, and not getting sucked into shiny object syndrome is the other side of it. The
Easy to.
It has been great to get to learn more about you and your business and how you're helping not just your community or your area, but the world at hand. And it is definitely a big opportunity for others to learn and gain value from that. You ready to
Yeah.
jump into the lightning round? Get to know a little bit
Let's
more
go
about
for it.
you.
Talk to
Okay,
me. Let's do it.
they're not too hard. Coffee or tea?
Ooh, iced coffee.
Iced coffee. Okay.
Let's go.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
If you could grab only one weapon or item during a zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
I would have an AK-47.
Okay. A favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
So, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah.
But a favorite movie or streaming series that you love?
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen the film In Time. It was with Justin Timberlake. It was about 10 years ago. I've honestly watched that film about 12 times. I absolutely just love the whole concept of it. So that, yeah, definitely my favorite film. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but it has been on it's been on my the list of the things to watch. Not my list personally, but as it's coming up on Prime and Netflix
Yeah.
and whatever. And I'll have to actually watch it now. So that's a
You
good
must.
review. One book that has influenced your life the most.
Yeah, definitely. Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs start. The difference between assets and liabilities, how the wealthy become wealthy. And I think that I live by that concept now. And for me, that was like a whole different world.
Nice. Very good. Biggest obstacle you've had to overcome and one lesson you learned from it.
Yes. So employees. So I've had basically long story short, I had an employee who came, he got a job, promoted him really quick. He was doing really well in the business, and he set up a competing agency against mine whilst he was working in the business. And this all happened the day before we won our biggest contract. So I had to sit on a board meeting with the new client and basically pretend that everything was all in order when things felt like they were crumbling, I'll be honest. And that was probably the hardest 4 to 6 weeks of my life, I'll be honest. But in terms of what I learned from it is that you cannot put too much responsibility, especially in a small business, on one person, because it leaves you very vulnerable. And also not taking people at face value. That's definitely something I've learned the hard way, let's say.
There you go. That is a valuable lesson for all those small business owners out there. And every single business owner, small, medium, large, deals with those problems on a daily basis. Don't think you're special because you're not. It's every one of us that deals with employee problems or issues. There's ways to work through it, and there's ways to stay positive about it and to still build a great culture. It's all possible. Joe, it has
Sure.
been so great to have you on the podcast today. How can our listeners in the real estate space, especially, reach out to you and work with you?
Absolutely. So if you follow us on Instagram, which is at eGrowth Media Ltd, or if you want to get in touch via email, it's just Joe, Joe, at egrowthmedia.co.uk.
And we'll have all of that information in the show notes and or the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And Joe, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the show and get to learn more about what you are doing for the world at large, not just your own country. And more power to you for what's going out there. And it's going to be very exciting to see what you do in the future. To all the
Thank you.
listeners out there, until next time.